In this video, we're going to take a quick look at the island fill function. We had a person who was asking about how the island fill function works here inside EasyStone. So first of all, we're just going to draw out a circle. And then the island fill, the way it works is if we push this button, watch what happens, push this button, you get a series of lines. Okay, and in certain circumstances that might be useful, in other circumstances it might not be. Now the amount of offset for each line is determined by default is determined by the current stone size and the current spacing. Now of course we can override that to be anything. So we'll go ahead and delete this. If we click on the Add Stones button, and let's just say we're going to give it 2. Now when I click on Island Fill, look what happens. We get the original line plus 2 more offset perfectly with stones applied. Okay, and then if we wanted to, we could select like the middle line. We could choose a different stone size, and we could come over here to the Stone tab, and when we choose Add Stones, it would swap out that middle row. So you can see that middle row has a smaller set of stones applied to it. And we could also change the color if we wanted to. So let's just come in here, we'll choose green and choose rename and fill, and that changes the color of all those stones. So really handy way of working with this. Now I'm going to select everything. I'm going to hit clear stones, and we're going to go ahead and just delete the 2 inside rings again. Now if we select, let's just say we're going to go 2, I'll tell you what, let's do 3. And we're going to go ahead and choose the Add Stones again. And this time I'm going to hold my Shift key, and notice that the amount of offset automatically changed because I have my stone size for an SS6 now, which is 2.6, and my spacing at 0.4, so now it's 3 instead of the previous 3.7. So watch this, I change this back to 3.3, and you can see that field automatically updates. But again, we could override this and say, you know what, I want it to be 5. Whatever you want it to be. If I hold down my Shift key and click Island Fill, now what it does is it offsets to the outside of the current circle. So now you can see we have this offset to the outside. Now of course we can take this and we can go back to the Stone tab and we can hit the down arrow and see what happens. We're adding more space. So we're kind of loosening that up, and that can often create some very interesting effects if we create concentric circles like this and just change the spacing of those stones as we go out. Just keep changing the spacing of those stones can yield some interesting results that way as well. So anyhow, that gives you just a quick overview of some of the different features there on that island fill feature and how it works more specifically. Now, one last thing we should talk about is how do we get rid of these lines? Well, the way you get rid of those lines, of course, is you select all of your stones, click on Break Stones, and then come over to your Selection tab and click on Select Define Paths. Okay, so that will get rid of all those lines right there, and hit delete. And that just leaves you with your stones.